First Miata I ever had, only Miata I've owned thus far, and fingers crossed nothing happens to it. I don't really know if I had much of a philosophy when I first got it. The guys I'm talking about back on Long Island, they tracked the cars, but I wasn't really interested in that. I don't know, didn't really want to send the nice car that I just bought into a wall. So it just kind of made more sense, like, you know, can build it for, it could be used on the track. You know, I bought the suspension, the nice wheels and everything, roll cage and whatnot. It's not a roll cage, it's a roll bar. So when I first got it, it was really just to be a street car, daily driver in the summer, you know, when it's not raining, something I can take to work, something I can take to the grocery store. It's something that's still going to be reliable, you know. I don't love the project car life. I want to be able to get in the car and it starts every single time. So, you know, before I even had the car, I had these wheels and the tires and the suspension. I didn't know what color car I was going to get, but it was going on gold 6ULs. Supercharger versus turbo is a really good question because I asked myself that for a long time. I don't think I had a plan to do it when I first got the car, but then I met Joe, the black turbo Miata that you guys reviewed last time. I was taking the long way home from work in my Miata, of course. It's about 3-4 years ago. Driving down East River Road, I saw a little black Miata in the McGinney's parking lot with his hood up. I was like, oh crap, you know, what's going on? So I pulled over. Hey man, how's it going? Like, is everything all right? You need a hand? And we've been best friends ever since. We have a lot of the same interests, obviously, in the cars as well. We get along great, and I was really lucky to meet him, mostly because after driving his car, which already had a turbo on it, was like, all right, I need this. I need forced induction. Like, this is way too much fun. You know, the car's great alone. It is. Miatas are awesome. I always tell people, even without the supercharger, the turbo, they're great little cars. You should definitely get one. But with the turbo, it was that much better. So after driving his car, was like, yeah, okay, which one am I doing? Am I doing a turbo or a supercharger? I looked at it for a long time, and actually, he's also the one who sold me on this Rotrex kit. I told him I didn't really want to go for the turbo because it was pretty difficult to set up. Julian tapping an oil pan, putting a tune on the ECU. You know, I'm a mechanical engineer. I know what I'm doing for the most part, but I'm not a car expert by any means. So I needed something that I could do myself. Joe also has a lift in his garage, which was phenomenal. I couldn't have done it without that. So he sent me the Rotrex kit. Said, hey, check out this company, Track Dog Racing. He sent me the blog that they've been putting together for like the 5 years beforehand while they were developing this kit. Said, you know, go read it, go check it out on their website and see what you think. And it was perfect. They had an instruction manual about this thick for the thing. Everything was bolt-on. You know, there's a little bit of fabrication work, cutting for the intercooler piping and whatnot, but nothing that was out of my league. So it was really easy. So for me, the supercharger versus turbo was definitely just ease of maintenance and ease of installing. We both make about the same power, so I was never worried about that part. So everything outside of the supercharger, there's a lot of stuff done to this car. The list is quite long. For me, I'm really meticulous. I'm really anal about like everything. So it was like, okay, if I'm doing this, I have to do this. If I'm doing that, I got to do this. So it was like, all right, I'm doing a supercharger. Okay, I need a clutch, I need a flywheel. Okay, I need some motor mounts. All right, I need a full exhaust. Okay, I should probably get a new radiator. All right, if I'm doing a new radiator, why don't I do a coolant reroute, you know? Upgraded injectors, upgraded fuel pump. Before the supercharger, the seats came in, the roll bar. Napp Motorsports did a water pump and timing belt for me. He also upgraded my differential to a Torsen. Before that, it was an open differential, and it was pretty subpar with a supercharger, so that was a huge upgrade for me. Some things are, a few things are still stock, like the sway bars. You know, I'll get to it eventually, but for the time being, those are still factory. Besides that, the car's kind of been gone through. You know, I'd like to keep it, for the most part, looking like it could have come from the factory. You know, I don't want some big fenders or something like that, but plans for the future. Oh, geez, it never ends. You guys know that just as well as I do. I keep telling myself it's going to be done soon, and then it never is. You know, after I put the Supercharger on, was like, oh yeah, this is perfect. 200 horsepower. It got dynoed at 202 horsepower and 158 foot-pounds on the same dyno that you guys went on. And it was like, oh, this is perfect. The car, you know, it comes right out of the corners quick. You know, it's not the fastest car in a straight line, but it doesn't need to be that. After the couple years I've had it on now, it's like, it could be a little faster, you know? So I've thought about building it a little further. At this point with the Rotrex, I'm a little constrained because the only way I can increase boost is by changing the pulley, and I can only go so far. But I could probably get it up to around 250, which I'm sure would be noticeable. I definitely wouldn't be complaining. But for now, I think it's going to stay the way it is for the time being. You know, like I said, I'll probably replace the sway bars, things that are still factory. But for the most part, I think this is kind of where it's going to sit for a while.
Just got back from driving Supercharged Joe's Supercharged Miata. There's a lot of Joes in Rochester with forced induction Miatas, so we got to kind of differentiate. So this is Supercharged Joe. His Miata is, not to get too much into the detail because we'll have an episode on that, but way different from a turbo Miata, at least Joe Costanza's turbo Miata. Linear power delivery, feels a lot like my K-Series. We're going to have him drive it in a second and see what he thinks. But, I mean, power, the more RPM you have, the more power you make on a supercharger. So really, all the way up to redline, allegedly, it makes power. Totally different driving experience, and it's extremely streetable. I mean, it's comfortable enough. You could go, I don't know, you could take it to work. Your parents could drive it comfortably without...
Thanks for that one.
Without being uncomfortable, right? It's not scary to drive. You know, there's no turbo lag that all of a sudden breaks tires loose or anything like that. It's immediate power and super comfortable.
Yeah. No, I've heard, you know, linear thrown around a lot. Like, what that feels like, the best way that I can describe it at least is, at like 5,000 RPMs, if you let off the gas and you put your foot back on it, just like a regular NA engine, the power's right there.
Right waiting for you.
There is no turbo to spool. There's nothing like that. The horsepower that is at that RPM is there immediately. There is no, like, 2-second delay with spooling up or anything like that. So, for me, at the track, this would definitely be my choice. Yeah. But again, we'll get more into those details.
No, you can tell them now how you like mine more. That's fine.
We'll get more into the comparison
K is the way.
In an episode where we really get into the details of your setups. You guys have a lot of similarities with both cars.
We do.
You got like the same coilovers,
yep.
Right? It was the same exact horsepower until Joe decided to turn up the boost.
Yeah.
Turbo Joe turned up the boost a little bit.
Correct.
You guys were making the same.
We both made exactly 202 horsepower on the same dyno that these guys were on. He made 200 torque where I was around 160, but the same horsepower, yes.
No, that's awesome, and that'll give us a really good idea for, I think, most people's realistic setups with these cars. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of people are chasing clout and high power numbers right now. Right, Peters? No, and that's fine. That's awesome. There's a lot of fun to be had there as well. But for the vast majority of the people that are looking to do this, they're not looking to make 400 wheel horsepower. What is a regular kit going to net me? Yeah. What does that feel like? How does it compare to another similar kit at a similar price point of the other, whether it's turbo or supercharged? So we'll have an episode on that coming out. And if you have any other ideas for content or things you'd like to see, comment down below. Let us know. And if you're in upstate New York?
Yep. If you're around Rochester, Buffalo, Syracuse, really anywhere, I mean, we'll drive. I really don't care. Send me a DM or send us a DM. Comment down below if you want us to review your car. We'd be more than happy to come check it out and let us know your thoughts.
They'll be happy to beat the crap out of your car and review it.
Respectfully, beat the crap out of it.
Yes.
We break it, we buy it.
Absolutely. So yeah, just let us know in the comments down below. Subscribe for more. And stay tuned. I don't know why I had to do that with my hands.
I thought that was alright.
Can we turn the camera off a little bit so it's not, so you can't see our hands?
I have no idea what to do with my hands.